What's up, party peeps, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have another review coming for you, and that review is going to be Holbrook Pickleball. Holbrook Pickleball is a family business, as most pickleball companies are, and they have 3 paddles out on the market that I wanted to talk about, 2 of which I have here with me. This that I was just showing you is the Power Pro. They also have a Power Pro E, and the difference between the two is the length of the handle. The one I chose was the 5.5 inch handle. They also have one that comes in at 5.25 inch handle. This paddle is also excellent, and then it comes at a 16 millimeter as well as a 14 millimeter. And according to the website, it comes in a 12, or did at some point, but I've never seen that particular paddle. I don't know if they're actually making it. So Holbrook, when you see this, just hit in the comments and let me know. Are you guys making a 12? Did I miss the release? A 12 would be intriguing, especially in this day of who's got the most powerful paddle. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 2 paddles today in this review. This is the new Aero T here that will be dropping, I believe, on October 22nd. So we'll be ready to buy on their website. And this is the Power Pro that they have released, gosh, a year ago or so. But I wanted to review both because they're new to me, and I know that Holbrook is a quality company. No matter what paddle that you'll be grabbing from them or intrigued by on these guys, these will be well made and you will enjoy it. So let me tell you a little bit about them. Holbrook's Pro Series line was engineered to amplify power, spin, and add a controlled touch to your shots for next level performance. It is a unibody, Edgecraft foam injected polypropylene core, and the surface is a raw unidirectional T700 carbon fiber. So this is a Gen 2 thermoform paddle with injected foam on the sides, very much like the Gen 2 Eulas and most of the Gen 2s out on the market. It is a traditional elongated paddle with a 16.5 inch length and a 7.5 inch width. The weight is going to come in anywhere between 7.7 and 8 ounces. Mine came in a little heavier, closer to that 8 ounce mark. And after I added an overgrip and put the Holbrook rubber stamp back onto it, it came out at 8.33 ounces total. The grip length is 5.5 inches. You can also order the Power Pro E, which will be 5.25 inches, and the grip circumference is 4.25 inches. According to the website, this paddle comes in a 12 millimeter, 14 millimeter, and 16 millimeter. And for this review, you will note that I am playing with the 16 millimeter. Also note that my friend Steve Emmons out of West Virginia, who is a senior pro, plays with the 14 millimeter. He absolutely loves it and has played with it for the past 9 months, getting amazing results in NPL, the senior league, as well as most of the tournaments that he shows up to. Okay, so let's talk about the overall playability of this paddle and what you would expect if you were to buy it. Number 1, they call this their Power Pro series, and it is definitely more powerful than a Gen 1 paddle or some of the ones that you would have used originally if you started around 2000 like myself. But if you're looking for an overall power paddle, this is not the paddle for you. I want to stress that to you, and that there are a handful, I would say 6 to 10 paddles that will still hit it much harder than the Power Pro. The other thing is you're not going to want to get a 16 millimeter a 16 millimeter paddle if you're looking for power. I do believe, after talking with Steve, that the 14 millimeter would be the direction to go if you want a little more pop and power in your game. But what this paddle brings to the table is that classic 16 millimeter touch. It feels fantastic in your hands. The drops are super consistent. It has a really nice size sweet spot. And I believe if you can add some weight, if you can handle a little heavier paddle, something above 8.3, maybe a 8.5, 8.6, 9-ounce paddle, that the plow through on this will be really nice for your drives. And the plushness of the sweet spot will be super consistent over a long period of time. This is a quality made paddle. The spin on this paddle, I would put at a 8 out of 10. It's really, really good, and it is very consistent with what you would expect from a 16 millimeter Gen 2 thermoform paddle. It feels fantastic in your hand, and I can shape the ball pretty much in any direction that I want to go to. I don't think this would be a top tier spin paddle, but I think it's very close. And finally, the overall playability of the Power Pro is one that I would suggest for anyone above the 4.0 range. And really, if you're less than that, I think this would work out as well. But I don't think you need to spend $150 or $200 on a paddle if you're playing at less than a 4.0 level. And that is because there are so many good entry level paddles. So the 4.0 that's looking to go to 4.5 typically will need to work on their soft game. And that is why I suggest that you get something that you can put in your hands and control and feel really good about resets in the midcourt, about hitting quality drops from the baseline, and being able to dink all day. If you can do those three things, then you will get to a 5.0 level. And this paddle is consistent in all of those areas. And last but not least, the overall look of the paddle. I love the white edge guard. I love the simplicity of the actual face of the paddle. And what's really cool is that it comes in a pink, a light blue, and a white. So you can order it in a color that you love, or you can get one of each, weight it up differently and use it for different things. So the overall selection within this for different colors that you like, as well as the ability to get it in a 14 millimeter or 16 millimeter paddle, are fantastic. The other cool thing is this paddle was originally $199.99. Holbrook has now dropped it to $149.99. And with my code PULSE15, you can save 15%, which will take the paddle down to around $130, which is an unbelievable value for a very consistent Gen 2 thermoform paddle. Alrighty then, so that was the Power Pro. Now we're going to talk about the Aero T. This is the newest paddle that Holbrook has dropped, and I was really excited about it because it's got a great look to it. I put a neon yellow handle on it. The overall shape of this paddle is exactly the same as the Power Pro, as you can see. So it is a classic elongated shaped paddle. The only difference is the Aero T comes with a 5.75 inch handle. Is actually a slight bit longer than the Power Pro, which I liked a lot. So this is an edgeless paddle. As you can see, there's no edge guard on there, but it has this really unique edge guard kind of going all the way around it. I've never seen anything like it, and you can see where the carbon fiber and the guards start and stop, and it's almost like it's thermoformed on there. My concern when I got this is, wow, is that going to peel back? Is that going to stay put? But after really beating the snot out of this paddle for the past week and a half, 2 weeks, it has held up exceptionally well. The other cool thing about this paddle, I ordered it in a 14 millimeter because I already had the 16 millimeter and I wanted to get something a little poppier, and it feels so nice in your hand because it's really light, it's really fast at the net, and the pop is there as long as you add weight. So when I first got this, it came in at 7.7 ounces. Right out of the package, really, really light. I added 3 grams of tungsten tape to the left side right around 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock. And that added 6 grams of overall weight. It ended up being 8.3. And with the addition of that weight, the plow through and the sweet spot really increased. When I first started playing with it, I was having a hard time resetting the ball simply because the twist weight is so low that it doesn't feel like the paddle is consistent. But the nice thing about these really light paddles is you can add weight all over the paddle wherever you want. And after I did that, I was playing exceptionally well. I was hitting great drops with a 14 millimeter paddle. And that to me says that the sweet spot was there. And when I wanted to hit a drive, I felt like the spin on this paddle was exceptional. And that is one of the things that I want you guys to notice and note is that the Power Pro was really, really good in the spin. I would give it 8, as I said before. The Aero T, I'd put in a 9.5. It's next level spin. I was shaping the ball exceptionally well. And even though it's got more pop and more power, dinking with it was very easy, especially if you're a person who likes to do topspin dinks, whether you're on the right side, and for me, I'm rolling it forehand across the court, or if you're on the left side and you have a 2E topspin, the ball grabs on the face of this paddle really, really well, and it adds a ton of dimension to your dinks. This is not a paddle that I would recommend for everyone. As a matter of fact, as I said before, I think the Power Pro would be great for that 4.0 coming up to 4.5 level, maybe even getting all the way to 5.0. I mean, you're going to be fantastic with that paddle at those levels. And if you're less than a 4.0, you're probably going to want to go with something a little more value paddle-y. That way you can learn the parts of the game that you need to learn, which are hitting soft shots and not just trying to plow through everyone and getting to the kitchen and learning to dink. Now, the Aero T, I believe, is for the 5.0 plus player. This is for the person who already has a good drop game. This is for the person who can hit a very consistent drive, and you're looking for that next level power and pop. I would put this very consistent with most Gen 2 and then add 10 or 15% of overall power and pop on these shots. It's not going to get to a Gen 3 power. The Mod TA15, the gearbox, the ripples, those are going to be your power paddles. If you're into that, which I personally think they're ruining the game. This is a paddle that from 5.0 to 6.5, you're going to be able to shape the ball. You can add weight anywhere you want on it because it comes in really, really light, and you can customize it to fit your game. The Aero T will be dropping on October 22nd, and you can use my code PULSE15 to get 15% off on day one when this paddle comes out. I highly recommend if you're looking for a poppier paddle that's really light and you can add weight to add sweet spot to increase the size of the overall sweet spot, this is a paddle that you should consider. I believe it's going to come out at $199 or $219 on their website, but stay tuned and you will see. And again, use my code PULSE15 and you can save 15% overall on your purchase. Alrighty, so let's pull out of the shot. And the last thing I wanted to show you guys is this super sweet hat they sent me. So forgive my hair. Woo, it's really bad. I haven't had one of these hats before. I've seen them, but this is an athletic hat where I've sweated in it multiple times and it doesn't leave like the rings of sweat across the front of the bill. And it is so comfy on your head. It only comes in black currently. Holbrook, please make this in blue, make it in pink, make it in white. This hat is fantastic. It's $30. You can also save with my code on it if you want to try it. I'm actually going to buy 2 more to go down to Peru with me when I leave next week. So that is Holbrook Pickleball. You can get the new Aero T in about a week or so. Or if you're that 4.0 coming up and you want to get to the 4.5, 5.0, I really think the Power Pro is the one to go with. This is more consistent. If you want more pop, then you can get the 14 millimeter and weight it up, as I said. But across the board, Holbrook has fantastic paddles. They're well made, and I believe you'll be really pleased with your purchase. With that being said, hope you enjoyed the review. Like and subscribe. Please support this small channel. It helps. Every little bit helps. And also, I do podcast once a week or so, and really, really fun. Check them out. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you next time.